Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast, or a brand new episode this week, where it's only me here, but I'm joined by Lewis still. He's not got his
I'm
camera on
still
today.
here.
He's still there,
I'm still here.
just showcasing the logo. But the day we're
Thought
going
we
to talk
showcased the
about
logo today, mate.
the day we're going to talk about the St Johnstone game that happened on Wednesday. Pretty slog fest a game, but we'll talk about that a wee bit at the start. We'll talk about Van Bronckhorst's tactics, his subs, maybe the lack of goals in the team at the moment, what's maybe going wrong with that. Aberdeen, obviously we'll talk about that big win at Ibrox, and then we'll preview the next two games: Red Star Belgrade in the Europa League and Dundee in the Cup. So it's good to get a break for that league sort of anxiety and stress again. It's always welcomed at this stage of the season, so we can sort of look forward to these two games without obviously still want to go and win them, but with that pressure of the league office now, it's nice, and it's as always, if you do enjoy the podcast, you can like, subscribe and share about for us, very much appreciated. So I'm going to need to come to you first because I wasn't able to watch the St Johnstone game live when it happened. I watched the highlights when I came home. I was planning on going to watch a full game, but you told me don't even bother. So what was the script on Wednesday?
Shocking, mate. That's what it was. It was utterly, honestly, I wish I could get my life back for watching that game, to be fair, mate. It was disgusting. You make me think about it, Jag. I really want to jump out the window, mate, when I think about that game. Honestly, no, it was so bad, mate. It was just shocking. Lovely bit of quality for a goal, but beyond that, mate, that's about it. There's no real, as I said, there should have been subs. Arfield should have come off. One or two of them looked a bit leggy, but I don't know what Gio was playing at. Maybe he was trying to torture him. But shocking on Wednesday.
Aye, well, obviously, nice bit of quality for the goal, right enough. Nice pass from Morelos Kamara, a guy who really finds himself in that position, composed and slots it home nicely. We're 1-0 up. Morelos obviously hits the post as well. Just after that, Arfield, I seen on the highlights as well, had a golden opportunity. Goldson's header was ruled offside.
Several he had, to be honest with you, mate. Should have been a 3 or a 4 for me, but Arfield just couldn't put the ball in the box, mate. Couldn't put it in the net.
Aye, I've seen the one he blazed over the bar as well. It might be in the first half, second half, I can't remember, but sort of poor showing, poor pitch. St Johnstone, a poor team, didn't really trouble us for what I saw. And the main thing was 3 points. Also, we've not won away from home since that Hearts game, 2-0. So it was good to get a win on the board away from home and get another win in the league, because we haven't even been doing that at home. So although it wasn't the most glorious performance, the 3 points was big. Van Bronckhorst came under a lot of criticism after that game for not making any subs, for sort of the players look tired in the pitch. Like, you've got a bench available, 5 subs, no changes were made. The sort of lack of goals, the lack of hunger, maybe to go and kill a game off at times as well is frustrating for a lot of people. It is frustrating for me anyway, watching like that game tick down on my phone, and I'm waiting to see is the inevitable going to happen? Are they going to equalise, or are we going to actually go and score? Or when I would like to see is taking control of the game more and make it more comfortable for ourselves. But what's your thoughts on Van Bronckhorst? Obviously against St Johnstone, didn't really make any subs. Felt like the game sort of needed something though, didn't it?
Definitely did need some. That was probably definitely should have made subs that game. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and slate the guy. Some people, I really don't think he deserves that. As I said, mate, I'll be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? Wasn't my first choice, if to be honest with you. But I'm not going to slate him. He's a manager. I'll be back him. Whatever happens at the end of this season, he'll still be the manager. And he's going to have a full season. You look at his record so far; it's pretty decent. Is it only 1 defeat? We obviously know who that's to. But in terms of the subs and the changes, obviously it's important to refresh the game up when you know it needs it. I'm happy my boy. He brought my boy on, and the next game we'll probably talk about, obviously. But I know definitely on Wednesday night we needed subs, need to be refreshing. So really did feel that your boy from Man United would have been a good shout, or anybody really would have been a good shout, because that game on Wednesday was honking, mate.
I mean, even you've got Alex Lowry in the bench that game as well, even just for a bit of
that's enough.
Freshness.
That was what I was looking at. I thought to myself, that's a bit of quality. Bring him on, changes the game up. I watched him play, as I say, that Sevilla game, and that part was just as bad, and he's running circles around people. Get the boy on.
No, I would like to see him being given more of an opportunity as well, especially with Aribo recently. He's looking really tired. He plays in that sort of same position as him as well. So I would like to see Lowry, if on the bench, get a bit more game time if he is available. Obviously, Ramsey's back now as well, so might be tough for him.
It's going to be tough, mate. But one thing I'll say about Joe Aribo, I know you just touched on him there. At least he was one of them that came out and admitted his performances haven't been good, and I like that about him a lot. I really love that about Joe. He's really honest with himself, and he's been honest and said how his performance. So I'm happy with Joe. His attitude there, it shows that he knows he has to improve, and his performances haven't been good enough.
That's exactly if you're looking at that as a player. Obviously, we can see it as fans, but to admit it as a player, it takes a lot. Obviously, you don't want to doubt yourself. I just think that shows the character Joe Aribo is. That he's determined to always be the best, and he'll always admit if he's fallen short. He has fell short since obviously coming back for the winter break. A lot of the team have, to be fair, but you're looking at him, a guy who's so good in the first half of the season, to maybe carry it on into this title run. And I'm hoping maybe he'll get a rest soon. Obviously, he's going to be in Nigeria as well again, so there's another 2 games he'll have to play. So maybe looking at freshen up the squad a wee bit and maybe sitting him out, but he's such a vital player that he can play in so many positions. With the games coming up, he's always one of the guys you want to look at, but maybe it's time to give him a bit of a rest on the bench. But I'm fully behind Van Bronckhorst. I know people get people get frustrated when, especially on Wednesday. I don't understand why you wouldn't just make a sub when you're winning 1-0 to kill a bit of time off, especially when the game needed it. I just thought that was quite baffling at times. But on Saturday, he made the changes and it worked again in our favour. He obviously done it against Borussia Dortmund, where he moved the Lundstram into the back 5 and he sort of changed the game that way. And again, in Aberdeen, he changed the game with substitutions and took a big risk. But obviously, the first thing is 150 years of Rangers. It was nice to see all the tifos and everyone in the stadium. I thought it was very well done for the Union Bears. Not actually Rangers, a club who never seem to really provide much in terms of match day sort of tifos and all that. The Union Bears, again, showing why they're a class above. They should be getting the full stand behind that goal because fantastic work again.
Oh, sensational work again, mate, for the Union Bears, mate. I loved the display. I loved showing the moments throughout the years.
It was good. It was a good way to start, obviously, the occasion. Big occasion for the club. I thought they were going to come out in that white top, but thank God that didn't happen, because you knew it was going to happen if we ended up playing in that kit. Looking at the team as well, it was sort of similar to I think what everybody was expecting. Fashion obviously back in for the start. Arfield dropping to the bench. Barisic came back in. Bassey at centre half. I think it's time to really stop that sort of experiment. If you've got only Bassey and Barisic available to play, of course you need to make do. But if you've got Hollander and Balogun on the bench, I feel like the back 4 should be settled. It should be Bassey at left back, and it should be either one of Hollander or Balogun at centre half for me. Because we're always changing it. Like, no matter who we're playing, Barisic always gets brung off and we bring on Balogun anyway. So I just think, save yourself a substitution, play what you know what's right. And I just feel settling the back 4 was a big reason why we done so well last year.
It was massive, mate. It was massive, and he's on about the white strip there. Sorry, my connection keeps popping in and out there, mate. But no, listen, I was disappointed we didn't wear the white kit. We're talking about wearing it, didn't turn around wearing it. So I was disappointed. But no, I agree with you fully. And also, I think Balogun and Hollander offer a lot more in terms of set pieces as well. Barisic for me is done. I don't know. I'm sick of the whole, he's confident. No, he's done. I just think we need to move past him. Bassey's the number 1 left back. As you're saying, centre half wise, obviously Balogun and Hollander tend to rotate them, and it just makes a lot more sense. Obviously, we get what subs now, so it gives you a better options if you need them going forward, like we did. With my boy Roofe coming on doing a business. Don't want to hear him to talk bad about him. My man is the top dog. Praise the Roofe.
Nah, I think you're right. Obviously, with the defensive approach as well. Settling the back four is probably the way you go forward. Barisic, I didn't feel had his worst game. To be honest with you, I thought he was all right, but he's just not offering you the same as what
He's
Bassey
a
would
bit
at left
reckless
back.
and all. I was a bit reckless and always high foot sometimes. I thought as well, mate. But apart from that, he looked decent, but I definitely think Calvin's the number one left back, mate.
Especially in the first half, though, I thought Barisic was the one guy that was really committing and trying to get forward, which you could maybe say that he doesn't do often. He was trying to get any challenges and win the ball back. I thought he had a decent first half and a largely poor first half. We didn't get going at all. We couldn't have any answer for breaking Aberdeen down. Obviously, they are going to come set up defensively. That just shows you how far they've fallen. Obviously, in the bottom three of the league, and they're coming to frustrate us. Obviously, they will, but to not really even pose an attacking threat is poor from an Aberdeen point of view, I would say, because they've always given us a pretty good game, end-to-end sort of football, but they sat in. It was hard to break them down, but then it would be hard to break them down when we're showing no real quality to really do that. Like, not really try to break the lines. The passing was poor, no sort of creativity, invention in the final third. Kamara in the first half obviously hit the post, just sort of narrowly off Joe Lewis, but that was about it. In terms of the first half action, it was poor, and you're thinking same old sort of story, like the big occasion. Are we going to come out and are we going to drop more points at home, or are we going to actually show a bit of character and get the victory? And the second half was better. Definitely, it couldn't be worse than the first half. I thought the first half was really, really poor. Came out in the second half, a bit more hunger. Obviously, you're saying Van Bronckhorst made that change, put Bassett left back, Balogun on. Just sort of utilises Kent a bit more as well. He seems more at home when Bassey's at left back for me.
Aye, definitely does, mate. I would agree with that. He seems a bit. I think he's building up that relationship as well, Liam. And Balogun's my boy Calvin. How can I forget his name? He's played most of the season out there, so I think that relationship's starting to blossom. It does look like a good partnership with they two down the left hand side. Obviously, and Barisic were fantastic last season, but I don't know what it is with Barisic. But I definitely, my boy and him have struck up a better relationship. The first half was shocking, mate. Not gonna lie, first half was shocking. How do you not come out with all the banners and everything that had been done, and not come out in the first minute with a bit of fight, a bit of hunger when you get 2 or 3 in the first half for me? I think the second half only really picked up a wee bit better, definitely, but only really picked up before the goal for me. Personally, mate. But
aye, no, I would say so as well. It was, although we were sort of pushing and we were showing a bit more sort of urgency to get a goal. Like, aye, you're right. Like, we didn't get our first shot on target until about the 70th minute, which again is.
What was it, 20 shots?
It's poor, aye. 20 shots we had, aye.
Shocking, mate. That is shocking for me. And it was only 1-0.
For around the stands and the people around me as well, there was a lot of criticism for Fashion Sakala during that game. I was raging, to be honest with you, when he gets subbed off. Although in front of goal he's raw, he's really getting no big deal of composure yet in a Rangers shirt. Didn't obviously hit anything on target, but he's always the guy that's picking up the ball and try to do something, try to take shots on, and obviously it's a striker's instinct to do that. And when I seen Arfield coming on for him at the time, sitting, I'm like, why? We need a goal. Like, obviously people were raging at the Morelos substitution for Roofe, and I was thinking, why are we bringing on a midfield for a striker? We should really be going to go and win this game. I know he's had plenty of opportunities today and he's not put any in, but surely one's going to fall off and he might put it in the net. But he was a guy that came under a lot of criticism with people around me basically saying, nah, he's not good enough to play for Rangers. Obviously you hear shouts of that for everybody, but I thought he was getting it a lot of stick actually in Saturday for a lot of people. I know he didn't have his best game, probably not the best game to play him in, where a team's sitting in and you're not going to really utilise what he's best at. But what was your thoughts on him?
No, listen, mate, I thought he was decent. Who are we talking about here again? Sorry, man, went there. What's this? What are we talking about?
Sakala.
Sakala. No, listen, Sakala is, as you say, can get frustrated with him at times. I do, as you said before, on the last podcast, I do feel like sometimes he just hits in hopes. I would like to see him beat a man now and then, maybe play the passing in the first half. I think he took a run, obviously down the right, and then I think Kamara was on the edge of the box, and I think he just continued to run. I think if he passed it, obviously Kamara there's a chance for in the box. But no, that's nice. The Cal offers a lot of quality, decent player as we're talking about here. It can be frustrating, as I've saying at times, but nah, mate, I thought that he had a decent game yesterday. But as I said, mate, for me, it really just changed when my boy Kemar came on and got the scrappy goals. I'm just thinking to myself, as it was said, when the games was drawn, the Dundee game, the Ross County game, the Motherwell game, my boy's playing, I'm telling you, he gets a goal. Obviously, you were at the game. See when he was coming off, they weren't booing him coming on, were they?
No,
what were they booing for?
I think the big thing, obviously, it's 78 minutes. Like, you've got 12 minutes left to
obviously
really.
You want to keep Morelos on.
Aye, you've got 12 minutes left to.
On and you want to go through to it.
Aye, obviously you want your two strikers on the park to try and get the best opportunity to score, and I get that. That's why the fans were booing. They weren't booing Kemar Roofe coming on the pitch by any means. Like, no way at all. It was the fact that Van Bronckhorst was taking off a striker and not playing two strikers and bringing on another midfielder. Like, I think a lot of people were frustrated because they just didn't see where a goal was coming from. Me personally, I was like, nah, it's just one of these days again. Like, we've had too many of these days. He brings Roofe on, and I've got to again applaud Van Bronckhorst for doing that. Like, that was a big risk to, especially with the fans' reaction as well. Take off Morelos, bring on Roofe, and have confidence that Roofe's going to get you the goal. And he eventually did do that. Exactly as you say, if he's in the right place at the right time, it's 9 times out of 10 going to be a goal. He's a top player. He's obviously struggled with injuries, as Van Bronckhorst said. So it was good to see him on the pitch.
I know. See when he hang with the goal, he didn't even. It was just a wee touch. That's what I'm on about. That's what we're talking about. His movement. He's always there. He always knows where to put the ball. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it was definitely, as you said, Gio does deserve praise for making the sub. So I probably couldn't make him on the Wednesday, but that's all right. We can forgive that. We get the 1-0 win. As I said to you, mate, these are all cup finals now. It would be nice, especially obviously with what the game meant against Aberdeen, to go out there and get a couple and show that we're still in it. I would have liked a real nice score, and I'm really hoping we can beat a team a good 3 or 4. That's what I'm really wanting for this team. I just want to see that again. But 1-0 wins, as I said to you, mate, are just as important. And the 3 points are what's all that matters. I know everyone's going on about Gio as we're talking about here, but I mean, I don't doubt the guy whatsoever. I have belief in him. As I said, with the whole Barisic stuff, I really think the guy's gone this summer for me personally. But with everybody, as I said, the second half, it's when it really picked up. First half it was a missable game. I couldn't believe it. We were playing that first half, but second half, my boy came on, put the ball in the net. I was happy, Jack. I mean,
exactly.
You were over the railings. I try to grab him, the top off him.
It's that big a goal, honestly. Like, it's just one that you never really felt was coming, and just seeing that ball go in the net and get the goal, and it was obviously a big moment for the season anyway, especially what happened yesterday. Celtic getting their victory as well. If we couldn't afford to drop any more points, the league was done. So it's a really.
They let me down.
I know.
Let me down, Martindale. What's that all about?
It was a really big victory just for that reason as well, for them obviously picking up another 3 points. And we are still obviously at that 3 point threshold with 2 Old Firm games and all that still to go. So you want to still be in touching distance. There's still plenty of games, plenty of football to be played. I just hope the overall performance improves in front of goal, because what I'll say about us against Aberdeen, we never looked like we were going to concede a goal, which is good. The sort of defensive approach was good. Aberdeen never had a sniff really, and then if they did, I felt comfortable. Connor Goldson thought was really good in the defence, especially in the second half, where if Aberdeen were breaking up the pitch and he was cutting it off. So never looked really like conceding a goal.
Defensively, it didn't look like conceding a goal at all. But as you say, going for 20 shots, you can't have 20 shots and only win 1-0 for me. I don't even know what it is. I really do think a lot of these players, 3 or 4, I do think a lot of them will go out in the summer. I really don't think Gio. As I said, I'm not going to hang with him. For me personally, I'm back the guy. But no, 20 shots, you can't just win 1-0 for me. But I just think that's no good, man.
Aye, in front of goal, we've been poor. You've had 20 shots, only 2 of them are on target. Like, it's poor not even test the goalkeeper. And I can understand Jim Goodwin coming out and being frustrated at getting beat 1-0 when we haven't really tested the goalie as well. I can understand that viewpoint for him. But the matter of fact is we get the 3 points. It was big. It felt big in Ibrox on Saturday. To go level on points again and stay in touch and distance, obviously, until the day after was good. And hopefully we can just keep going on like this. I'm not too bothered at this stage of the season in terms of the league. If we're grinding out 1-0 wins and we're still winning games, obviously you want to see that sort of attacking football and you want to blow teams away more often. I get that. But I've seen a perfect tweet on Twitter saying if 8 more of these scrappy 1-0 wins and we win the league. So you've got to take account and look at it that way. It's a tough part of the season. We're picking
Absolutely.
up 6 points for not playing well. So
Aye. No, I agree with you. Mate, but see, at the same time and all, I do want to see a bit of quality out there as well. I'm all for the cup wins, do you know what I mean? As I say, 1-0, cup finals, I'm all for it. But see, at the same time, I do want to see a bit of quality. And also think about goal difference as well.
No, aye.
I think, you know what I mean? I'd like to see us put the ball in the back of the net a bit more. I mean, obviously we're going to be talking about good to have a wee break for the stress for the week. Because it's no good for the heart, is it, Jack? It's no good for the heart. So it's nice to focus on, you know, European runs and the cups. And I mean, it's massive for us, this cup game as well, by the way, because we haven't been this close to getting a wee bit of culture everywhere in a wee while, I feels like. So I definitely, mate, I'm just looking forward to not having to think about the league and constantly check the table and seeing what's going on, because as you say, mate, it's no good for the heart whatsoever.
No, definitely. It's good to get a break for that. But the last wee bit on Aberdeen I was wanting to say was the return to the team, obviously, for Glenn Kamara over the past few weeks. Got a goal, man of the match against St Johnstone, man of the match again against Aberdeen, obviously sets up the goal. Looks revitalised for me. Looks sort of maybe the spell on the bench and Lundstram and Jack coming into that position for him has sort of spurred them on, because he looks like the Glenn Kamara of last season for me. I'm really enjoying watching him in the side again. After him being so negative in terms of the start of the season and the way he's went on with his form, but I still see him getting a lot of criticism. Like everything sort of breaks down when it falls to Glenn Kamara, but then he goes and creates you a goal. He scores the goal on Wednesday. Like, I get that he's maybe a bit slow on the ball, but he's that type of player. He's a defensive-minded midfielder, of course. His first instinct's not always to go forward; it's to keep the ball and keep it moving on. But I think he's been very good over the past few weeks.
No, he has. Listen, he's been decent. Honestly, Jack, that's what you do when you're going in the summer. No, I'm only joking. Listen, he's been good. I mean, the goal itself that he got at St Johnstone was fantastic. But for me, I mean, he's not the only one whose performances haven't been near enough good enough this season, mate. So it is nice to see him come back into form. As I said at the start, it's nice that my boy Aribo came out and said, "Look, I've not been good enough," compared to Tavernier when he didn't have the ball. He came out and say, "I wasn't good enough for that goal with Motherwell." So it's nice to see people come out and celebrate in the form and well, and then people step up and just perform. It's nice. But my boy Greggy Stewart doesn't have to worry about that, because he's getting the Ballon d'Or this season, so
Definitely contenders. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. But we'll leave that for the very end. Moving on for obviously another victory then, Red Star in the Europa League. Attention's turned to the Europa League again. Obviously, it's nice to be included in it. The main incentive's always the league, but we games coming up with this big opportunity to go through again, which is important for us. Red Star at the weekend, although you could maybe say their leagues are no shot, there's 2 teams in it, Partizan Belgrade and Red Star, the 2 teams at the top. 5-0 victory for Red Star at the weekend. 2 players that I feel that we'll need to watch out for. They've got Dragovic on their books for former Bayer Leverkusen and Leicester defender. They've got him, so he played when he actually played with Bayer Leverkusen as well. So decent enough defender, good quality. Obviously playing with 2 top teams, and the 2 players that are sticking out for me is Alexander Katai and Marko Ivanic. Like the 2 of them sort of attacking midfielders, wingers, seem to be the 2 most attacking players for Red Star. two players to watch out for. Advantage 100% looks the one to watch for me. I think we were linked with him in the summer or the season before, if I can remember rightly. We were interested in this guy, so his numbers are really good. Katai as well. Since he was in America, I think he was in Spain as well. He's come back to Red Star, and he's scoring all the time, every game. I think he's got 17 goals this season. He's played 70 games since he came back and scored about 50 goals. So definitely a guy to watch out for that can score goals for him. And it's going to be one of these sort of tricky ties, I feel like, going into it. Like, obviously, we feel that Ibrox, we should go and blow them away. We've not done that often at Ibrox, really at all this season, but to get a healthy lead and hopefully progress going to Serbia the week after will be good. But we'll just need to watch for Red Star. I don't feel it will be as sort of straightforward as a lot of people
think. It's definitely not going to be a
think.
comfortable game. It's definitely not going to be as comfortable as people make it out to be. Listen, a lot of people are thinking themselves it's going to be a 3 or a 4. You've named some top class players there, mate. So it definitely is going to be a challenging game. I'm kind of comparing it to the mob we played last season, and it was kind of a high scoring game. Belgian mob, what was her name again?
Royal Antwerp.
I'm comparing it to them. Similar. A lot of people didn't know much about them, and then we ended up playing them, and we turned out to have some great games of football against them. So, I mean, that away tie looks pretty intimidating. If you're a player, you should be up for that. You should look forward to that. I mean, what an atmosphere that'll probably be. But equally, when we get them over here, we've got to make it as uncomfortable for them and try and get a healthy league going over there. Because as I say, obviously we all know the league's the main thing, but it's nice to be in these competitions, and why not try and, the way I'm thinking at the moment, you know what, see if we're winning Champions League football, see if we just go for winning the Europa League. That's the way I'm thinking myself. I'll be honest with you. I'm thinking myself, let's go and just go for it. What's the worst thing that could happen? But this team definitely, as you said, let's have some quality players there. It's definitely going to be a challenging fixture for the boys.
Nah, it'll be a tough fixture, definitely. The good thing, obviously, I prefer the reverse of how we're playing this way. I prefer the way we played Dortmund. We go over there first and then come to Ibrox. But
we get there.
Maybe the incentive for the team is to go out and kill the tie in the first leg this time. Because you don't obviously want to worry about going to Serbia and maybe 0-0 or 1-1 each or something like that. Like, you want to go over there knowing that you've got a good lead in hand.
Lead, mate. Just a good lead and be able to refresh the team. Maybe give somebody like Lowry, give him some minutes in Europe away. Because for me, it's important that we do utilise the squad in the second leg if it is a good lead for us in the first leg.
Definitely, and the team I'm going to go with for the first leg on Thursday is I'm going to go McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun, Bassey. I think Lundstrom, Jack play again. Obviously, we were talking at the start of the episode about Joe Rebo, but I just feel that again he's going to probably play. Big player for the occasion, top players. Hopefully, he can do something for us. Morelos, Kent, and I did have Kemar Roofe in there starting, but just because of what Van Bronckhorst said, after the game that he'd been struggling with injury, and that's why he's not featured. I don't expect him maybe to start. It'd be nice to see that front three again, right enough. Like, worked well for his last season under Steven Gerrard, playing that front three. I would prefer Roofe through the middle, but if we're going to obviously start him, I think he'd maybe play out there. Maybe like obviously Scott Arfield's a midfielder, but him playing sort of like a second striker in a way.
No, mate, listen, that's what I was about to say. I'd like to see him play with the two of them up top, man. I really would. I'd like to see Morelos and my boy Kemar play up top together, but I really expect Ryan Jack to come back in as well. Best midfielder in Scotland on his day, no problem. But no, I like that team a lot.
Nah, probably something similar. I wouldn't be surprised if it's probably Arfield out there or Fashion Sekal. Obviously, Ramsey was on the bench as well. Hopefully going to get some minutes. It'd be nice to see him start the game against Red Star, but I think maybe the weekend's game.
It'd be nice to see him. It'd be nice to see Ramsey play and get some minutes. I really want to see him play because, as we say, mate, there's quality there, and I just don't want it to be a case of where he's just injured up here and it's what people thought it was going to be. I'd like to see him get some minutes, man, and play.
Nah, definitely looking for him to make an impact sooner rather than later. And hopefully we can go into this game and actually go for it, win the game, what I'm looking for, as I say, is just a comfortable sort of deficit to take back to Serbia and hopefully get the job done over there. And for me, progressing into the next phase of Europa League is something we've not been able to do in past seasons. We've always fell at this hurdle, so it'd be nice to sort of go over this.
It'd be nice to get over the hurdle, definitely.
Mhm.
And it'd be nice to just. I want Barcelona. I keep saying it every time I'm on here with you, mate. I want Barcelona. I want that big game. But it was just nice to get through. As you say, it's definitely going to be a difficult fixture, but it would be nice to get through into the next stages, because I'm telling you, if there's a chance to get Champions League football automatically, I'm honestly feel more confident about us winning the Europa League than potentially the league this season. Mate.
I know that's the way it is. I know it's weird. But then Sunday as well, Dundee in the cup, up at Dens Park away, which hasn't really suited us recently. But Dundee are a poor side this season. They've obviously went through a change of manager as well. They've never really get going at all this season. Just beaten 4-0 by Livingston a couple of weeks ago as well. So definitely a big opportunity to get through in the cup. We should be going there and hopefully getting through in the cup, definitely. Tough. It is a tough venue to go to any away game. It is a tough venue, but I'm expecting us to get the job done here.
I'm expecting you guys to get the job done, and I'm actually hoping that we can score 3 or 4 in this game. Really, for me, this has got to be a game for me where we look to be ruthless. Depends on what happens on the Thursday night. Hopefully, no injuries, fingers crossed. But no, mate, this is a game for me where I'm hoping we can score 3 or 4. Maybe a wee bit of changes for the team. Definitely will be the same back. The same. I mean, McLaughlin. I'd like to see McLaughlin come in.
That'd be nice, actually.
Some changes in the middleweight thing, because usually, as I say, usually have obviously McGregor's the main keeper. He's not going to drop him, which is a shame. But McLaughlin for me should give him the cup run. Then if you're not going to play him at Hangway, you've got to stick with him in the cup. Definitely is a top keeper as well. Somebody that we've been shooting for to get into the league games. But this game for me, mate, needs to be a 3 or a 4 for me. Just make a statement. It'd be nice.
Nah, 100%. I'm looking for that statement performance to come. Seems like Hearts obviously at home was a big statement performance, and then Motherwell this season have been probably our 2 biggest. But looking at the team for this one, as you say, McLaughlin, it'd be nice to see him in. I don't know if he's going to stick with McGregor, but do you know what? I'll go out there. I'll put McLaughlin in goals. It'd be nice to see him be the cup keeper. Tavernier, Goldson, Hollander, I think he'll come in for this one. Obviously, you want to rotate him and Balogun as much as you can, so they're both obviously still playing but both fit. So I think Hollander comes in. Bassey at left back has to be. If Kamara doesn't start the game on Thursday, which I don't expect him to, I think he'll come in with Lundstrom. Aaron Ramsey for me is starting, and Aribo, Morelos and Kent will be the front 3, I think. Be nice to see Amad Diallo back. Still not done on the guy yet. Hopefully he's back in the squad. It was unfortunate here that he was injured, because I felt that could be 2 big games for him to get important game time and really show what he could do, and especially when we're playing really poor. So hopefully he's back in the squad, and hopefully we can go and get 2 victories this week. I'm buzzing to see Aaron Ramsey. It was nice to see him on the bench. I'm really looking forward to this guy hopefully making an impact soon. But that's the team I've went with. Has probably be a bit of rotation, especially what we're going to put into Thursday's game, I would imagine. So aye.
It'd be nice to see Lowry come in as well for that game, mate. That's what I'd kind of like to see. I agree with most of that team. I'd like to see Davo come back in and all. What's the situation with Davo and all? Because it seems to be for everyone's forgot about it. But I'd be nice to see Lowry come back into the team for me in the Dundee game. And if Davo's fit, I'd like to see Davo be involved. And my boy Kima, you've got to hang with. Listen, there's a couple of them that are probably up definitely away in the summer. But I'm really just I'm the same as you. I'd like to see that boy play, and we've got him on for United. But I'd just like to see a couple of fresh changes. I feel like Dundee's a game you can kind of do it. The team struggling on form. They've got a new manager coming in the doors, we've just said there. So,
but then again, you don't want to underestimate, because they're in the cup still. They're wanting to get through as well. That's the thing. I think we need to look at. Like, it's nice to also rotate the squad. Definitely bringing in quality. Balogun or Hollander for me. Take your pick. Both really top centre halves, especially with the midfield as well. Like Lundstrom, Jack, Kamara. Take your pick in there as well. Ramsey, Arfield, Aribo. We've got quality within the squad. I feel like it can go and do a job. So it's good for us to be able to maybe rotate that a wee bit, especially with being Dundee, but we can't obviously underestimate Dundee. They're going to want to get through in the cup as much as we are. So it's going to be an interesting week to look forward to. Hopefully we see an improvement on the overall 90-minute performance. Hopefully we start putting chances away and putting teams to bed early. That's probably the main thing. And then Greg Stewart, of course, killing it, as you said, Ballon d'Or running.
A bit more enthusiasm in your voice.
Greg Stewart.
Greggy Stewart. All right, I know I've been cutting in and out about this episode, but this isn't what I was going to miss here. All right, Greggy Stewart, my boy, Jack, tell the people what you've been doing. Ballon d'Or candidate, yes, absolutely.
Well, again, another big victory for his team. 5-1, I think it was. 2 assists and man of the match again. So I think that leaves him on 11 goals and 10 assists for the season so far, which is mental numbers. And exactly, he's killing it.
No, Greggy Stewart's like.
I think my Ballon d'Or winners this season are the top 3. Probably Mbappe, Salah, and then probably Greg Stewart will just pip it, I think.
Oh, listen, you're wrong there. It's Greg Stewart all day long. Salah been ripping it up in the Premiership. I'll give him that. But
it's not quite the Indian Super League.
Greggy Stewart. Exactly. No, like my boy Greggy Stewart doing the business. And to be honest with you, if he was playing for us, he'd be having 20 a season, mate. To be honest with you, again.
Of course, but that's pretty much the episode for this week.
Whoa. Just before you go, just want to apologise to the viewers. They can't see my lovely face, and I just apologise about this internet connection, you know. But listen, that next episode we'll be back to our best, back to seeing my lovely little face on the telly, or on the YouTubes, and we'll be talking more about my boy Greggy Stewart and hopefully Rangers doing the business, because that's what's important, is us doing the business.
Of course, so I appreciate you for coming on, even though you had a bit of the trouble with the internet and all that. We eventually get the episode done, and hopefully we'll see your face on the screen next week again. But as always, appreciate you for tuning in.
Yeah, I do that. Might freshen up the look. Might grow a beard. Slick my hair back like yourself there, looking very dapper.
Right, well, we'll see next week what you're up to then. But as always, if you'd like, subscribe and share about for us, very much appreciated. We'll be back next week, hopefully covering two positive results, and then looking forward to again the league resuming next week, which the stress will return. But until then, cheers, and we'll see you later.